Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love.
Well, good morning, Summit family. A Merry Christmas to you. Wherever you're at, we hope that your Christmas morning already has been incredibly special. You know, if I were to ask you what word comes to mind when you think about Christmas, I bet for most of us, the first word that would come to mind is that word that we just sang about, joy. You know, joy to the world, not only is that one of the most beloved Christmas carols that we sing, it's also the central message of Christmas. Christmas is about joy. I remember when I was a child, maybe some of you that are kids that are watching this morning felt this last night. I remember just the sheer anticipation of Christmas Eve. You would almost feel like there were convulsions in your body just with the expectation of the joy that awaited you under the Christmas tree that next morning. I remember so many Christmas Eves not even being able to go to sleep that night because of the excitement that was there. But eventually you do go to sleep and you wake up so early the next morning, tiptoe down the stairs, butterflies in your stomach, wondering what it is that awaits you under that Christmas tree. And there's something so joyful about Christmas morning. You open your presents, your family opens their presents. There's this magic, really, to Christmas morning, this magical joy that we experience. It's unlike almost any other day of the year. And you know, as much as we can often lament the consumerism of Christmas and the over-the-top marketing and all of the modern additions that are made to Christmas, the reality is that overwhelming childlike excitement that we so often feel with Christmas, that deep resonating happiness that happens Christmas morning, there really isn't another word for it other than to call it joy. It really genuinely is this sense of joy. And that joy, in many ways, it's an echo of what all of us were made for. There's this sense in that moment, you know, as you're sitting around in your pajamas with your family around the Christmas tree, a good cup of coffee in your hand, there's this sense in that moment that everything is right with the world. that things really are the way that they're supposed to be. It's why there's this magic to Christmas. But, we feel this so strongly. That magic of Christmas Day always ends, doesn't it? There's this post-Christmas kind of anti-climax that happens. Parents, if you're watching, you know this feeling, right? All the presents are open, this chaos and destruction has happened, and you go around gathering up all of those ripped apart boxes, all of the wrapping paper, all of the packaging. There's this moment after it's all done where you gather all of that up and take it out to the recycle bin and wheel that thing out to the road. It's like the joy has come in the house and now the joy has left the house. And the children start to melt down, and everybody feels tired and ready for that nap. You know the kind of moment that I'm talking about. In a lot of ways, Christmas, in that way, is this microcosm of what we feel in the world that we live in. Right? It's like Christmas gives us this taste of what's possible, but as quickly as we taste that joy, that goodness, it's just gone. We so often experience in this world a joy that is incomplete. One of my favorite Christmas songs is the song, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." There's something quaint about that song that I just love. And in it, there's this line about Christmas. It says, "From now on, all your troubles will be out of sight." And we know that in a lot of ways, Christmas comes and we feel that for a moment, and then it's gone, and the troubles come back within our sight. Even the hope that song sings of, faithful friends who are dear to us through the years, we all will be together, the song says. And if you've experienced anything of life, you know that that's just not true. Some of those deepest friendships and family relationships, they end up broken. Joys that we had at one Christmas are gone the next. That's often not the way that life works. That joy doesn't last. And so behind the magic of Christmas, there's always just the plain reality of Christmas, that as wonderful as the magic of Christmas is, it never lasts. It always ends. C.S. Lewis, in his book Mere Christianity, he wrote this profound paragraph. He said this. He said, "If I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. If none of my earthly pleasures satisfy it, that doesn't prove that the universe is a fraud. Probably earthly pleasures were never meant to satisfy it, but only to arouse it, to suggest the real thing." I wonder if you hear what Lewis is saying. What Lewis is saying says something that is so true about Christmas. You see, in this world, the anticipation for Christmas is always followed by the ache we feel after Christmas. But that for us doesn't mean that the joy of Christmas is a complete fraud. No, what it means is just simply that joy isn't what's really truly meant to satisfy our desires. It's only meant to arouse our desires. The joy of Christmas is meant to point us to something much more real. It's meant to direct us to a joy that's way more profound and way longer lasting, that's much more real than the joy that we feel at Christmas. That deeper joy is really the joy that the Christmas angels announced on that very first Christmas Eve in Luke chapter 2. The angel of the Lord in Luke chapter 2 comes and appears to these lowly, down-and-out shepherds, and here's what he says to them, Luke chapter 2, verse 10. He says this, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all people." Now, I wonder if you caught that. The angel is announcing this good news, a good news not just of momentary joy or fleeting joy or a joy that lasts for a few hours through the anticipation of presents being opened. No, the angel is announcing this great joy. Not a joy that just comes and goes, but actually a permanent joy, a lasting joy, a life-changing joy. Church, that is the kind of joy that has arrived into this world through the coming of Jesus. Now, as Christians, we really can feel free to love the joy of Christmas, but we always need to remember that that joy that we feel at Christmas is only an echo of a much greater joy. It's a shadow of the real thing. And that real thing is what's found in Jesus. In Jesus and through Jesus, there is a joy that we can know that lasts way beyond the tinsel and the garland and the lights, that lasts beyond these moments that we feel between Christmas Eve and the end of Christmas Day. There's a joy that we can experience that lasts way beyond Christmas into the darkest moments, the most real moments, the most challenging moments of life that actually can meet us in those dark seasons. It's an otherworldly kind of joy because it comes to us from an otherworldly Savior. And so, friends, the baby that we see in the manger really is the bringer of true Christmas joy. He's the bringer of real Christmas magic. Our prayer for you this Christmas day is that you would experience in him just a measure, a taste of that magic that we will ultimately enjoy forever. Friends, this morning, unto you a child is born, unto you a son is given, unto you is born this day a Savior who is Christ the Lord. Merry Christmas, friends.